Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my morning musings. This is Don Preston of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. I really appreciate all of the wonderful and kind emails that I'm getting. The request for my book, Can God Tell Time? Been making a special offer for those who watch my YouTube presentations here on Morning Musings. I'm offering a free copy of this book. All you got to do is go to my website, www.eschatology.org or bibleprophecy.com, and send me an email. You got to mention that you saw this offer on YouTube, though, in order to get the free book. That's Can God Tell Time? One of the things that I have in the book, more extensively than I will present here, and I'm sharing with you my journey to the full preterist, what's known as covenant eschatology view. That's the view that all prophecy's been fulfilled. It is how my views changed on the book of Revelation. I was raised believing the book was written 95 to 98 under Domitian, that it spoke of Domitian's persecution of the church, but then somehow, some way, it leaped forward in time to talk about the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope being the beast of chapter 13 and chapter 17, and how the Pope will one day rise to supremacy again and begin persecuting the church. But he would be destroyed at the second coming at the so-called end of time. Well, the time statements of Revelation, I mean, good grief, they're found at the beginning, they're found at the middle, they're found at the back of the book of Revelation. And I tried awfully hard to ignore or to explain away, somehow to mitigate all of those time statements. But something struck me years and years ago, and that's this. In Luke chapter 21, verse 8, Jesus said, "Many will come in my name saying, I am he, and the end has drawn near. Do not go after them." So Jesus said that false prophets would arise, saying the end had drawn near before it was actually near. Now, mind you, he's talking to Peter, Andrew, James, and John. And in that same discourse, he told them, when you see the signs, know that it, that is the end, has drawn near. It's even at the door. Okay, so here's Jesus telling first century people, 2,000 years ago, people are going to come saying the end has drawn near when it's not near, but when you see the signs, you'll know when it's near. Okay, so here's John in the book of Revelation being told to write, the time is at hand. These things must shortly come to pass. He's writing about the end, and in Revelation 22, verses 6, 10, 11, 12, 20, 6 times in chapter 6, or 22, excuse me, John writes, and he's actually recording the words of Jesus, that the end had drawn near, that fulfillment was at hand, that the Lord was coming soon. I got to tell you, this is a problem for all of the attempts to mitigate the time statements. You have Jesus saying false prophets would say the end was near prematurely. It wasn't until the signs would appear that Jesus' apostles would know and could declare that the end was near. And here's John saying over and over and over and over again, the end was near. Now, I got to tell you, what this means is this. Since John unequivocally, unambiguously said that the end of all things had drawn near, that Jesus was coming soon, shortly, quickly, that the divinely appointed time had arrived. Now, since John said all of that, but since Jesus told John not to say the end was near until the signs of the end appeared, then that means one of two things. The signs truly had appeared, John had seen them, and was now, through inspiration of the Holy Spirit, declaring the end was near, and he was right, or John became one of the very false prophets that Jesus warned him about. Now look, I'm sorry. You just can't look at the time statements of Revelation and say, oh, well, time doesn't mean anything. Time statements don't mean anything. Jesus said it would be wrong to proclaim the nearness of the end prematurely. Well, if time statements don't mean anything, there are no such thing as premature time statements, right? So the fact that Jesus warned his apostles against making or believing premature statements about the imminence of the end, and the fact that John himself repeatedly said that the time of the end had drawn near, it was at hand, it was coming soon, means, once again, John was right and the end really was near, or John became one of the very false apostles and false teachers that Jesus warned him about. Now, like I said, I developed that a whole lot more extensively in this little book. If you want your free copy of Can God Tell Time, go to my website, www.eschatology.org or BibleProphecy.com. Send me an email. You have to mention the free offer on YouTube. Hey, thanks for joining me for this morning's musings. We'll see you again in the morning.